What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Alex here from Team Generations, and today we are back again with another video. Today we're going to be looking at a market watch, bringing some of these back, maybe potentially just exploring the option on the channel, seeing how well they do, just trying a lot of different content lately, just seeing what is really sticking. But you guys are here for cards, I'm here for cards, and if you guys are interested in purchasing any of these guys, do check out our TCG player link down in the description below. Absolutely no cost to you. You can shop that link to help support the channel. I definitely appreciate it. I'll never ask you for money, anything like that. So without further ado, let's hop in for real. Just wanted to generally go over this Dragon Tree Invasion kind of set and look at the top end, because I think there's really some general value over here. Some things aren't quite as expensive as I really thought they would be. I think the Dragon Tree right now, it's not the greatest deck, but the DSR is pretty low. We got 22 listings of the DSR actually for $77 looks to be the bottom right here. I know the Bruce one's a little bit more expensive, and I would kind of expect a DSR in general to hang kind of somewhere north of that $100 range in general. So if you are interested in the deck, I think now is a good time. If you want to max rarity it, maybe pick those up. But just in general, we're seeing some good value picks across the board. I know the regular FFR over here for the Griffigolia, whatever you say it, is only $38. I'm sure there's a couple listings around there, and Bruce being only $50 for the FFR is pretty good as well. So just generally though, the set is kind of settled, I think, where it has been for quite a bit. The Operate Master Freiheits, there's 40 copies of these listed. They're just a triple rare. I think they might go down just a little bit. We're not really seeing Welsh to do too well in the meta at the moment, but they're just like a general splashable kind of card, so maybe we'll see it kind of just like hang out at that price range too. Brainwash Swirlers and the Inlet Pulses didn't really come down all that much. I don't know that the Reprint did too much. Maybe there's some more availability, maybe that's like a long-term effect, but both these are popular cards right now. And then Unica is not too bad as well, kind of dropping below its market price. Also 33 listings there. I think there's some value to be had in this set for the consumer. Speaking of value, I think now is a really good time to actually pick up the Clean Sweep Dragon. We know this is going to be used in multiple Dark States kind of decks, so I think that at $4, it's really not that bad. Market price is $5. We saw that these were going for way more when they first came out, so over here at $4, if you can pick up a playset for that much, I think it's definitely worth it overall. Next up here too, there's a bit of a run on these. These guys were super cheap around that 20-30 cent kind of mark. All of a sudden they're coming up in the dollars, so we're seeing playsets being bought at that dollar range, and there's definitely like a lot of them available, but I can see this card becoming a little bit more expensive in the future. I think that people are excited about the Grand Fia promo, and that is something that definitely could make the deck a bit better. And then lastly, just a value pick coming out of that set too. I think that this card is being bought out, not bought out necessarily, but there's a bit of a run on it. People are noticing. I think that just a generic, when your rear guard is placed in the front row in the same column, CB1 draw card, that's like a really strong card. I think it has premium implications. I think it's like pretty good in the standard format in decks outside of just Dragon Tree, so I think now is actually a pretty good time to pick these up, and if you can get them for relatively cheap, around your locals or whatever it is, it could be a good time, because playsets are starting to go for about $8 plus, whereas they were just dollar cards not that long ago at all. And yeah, they were stabling out at $1. Now they're going for at least $2. Don't let this false floor over here kind of trick you. Next up over here to Reception Monster Wavy Loss. So Wavy Loss is extremely expensive right now. Market price of $13. We're seeing it rise. The lowest listed over here is $17.66. So this is pretty good for both Ava and the Monsters builds. Both are popular decks in the West. Both have a lot of like steam momentum kind of going for them. I think that in general this is definitely overpriced, but if you are looking to play Ava, I think I'm not a Ava player necessarily, so I'm not 100%, but I think that this is included in the build. Otherwise, Monsters is just, like I said, been picking up a lot of steam. A lot of people like it, and they kind of see it as like a budget savior, so could be a good card overall. And then Go Ahead Makane is also seeing a bit of more play as of late, or just action in general in the market, with playsets being bought out almost daily on this card over here. A couple playsets being bought out, so I'm not exactly sure what the run on this card really is, but market price is $16 right there we see, and they're going for just a little bit over that now, starting to creep up there. So just wanted to make you aware, this is an extremely expensive card for something that was like just a couple cents on release, so kind of crazy. Lastly over here, getting into some of the older sets now. So Gratias Gradal, basically the Grail, just the Regalia card. It needs a second printing in my opinion. I know other Regalias are coming out, but this is a very expensive card and something that's used in quite a lot of decks. Not really going past its market price or anything like that, but just kind of wanted to bring up the availability. We see that there are tons of these listed on the market. I think that this price will hold, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it kind of start to trail off a little bit as time kind of unfolds. Next up to another card that is seeing a little bit more of a price hike, Pink Moth Girl Maple. She is she was about $1 or so for a while now. Now we're seeing it's kind of market price of $271, kind of starting to creep upwards. The cheapest copy really is $4, so she is beating her market price by almost 100%. Whoops, just gonna get rid of that there. Overall, this card is, I feel like, not too great in a lot of different things, but you need it in some builds for, obviously for Thagria, which is getting support, we know, coming out in the future set. I feel like there's some odd kind of like Stoichi decks that use it too, so there is a bit of a run on this card at the moment, just be aware of that. And then lastly, again, this is our first serial number rare in so long. If you guys are interested in purchasing number 25, I do have that copy. It's listed for quite a bit on here, but I do have number 25. That is mine. Overall, I know these guys are going for, I guess the ones sold on here were about $13.49, $1,500. I feel like 25 is a pretty good number, but I'm definitely reasonable. $1,500 won't be the real price if you contact me, so just let me know down in the comments below. Desire Devil Bubetsu is actually way up right now, market price of $8. Now this is used, or it was previously used in the Spikes build, but I think a lot of people are hopping on the Greed On train. For anything Desire Devil, by the way, just check what you have in bulk, because I think they are starting to become a little bit more valuable. We see that 4 copies were sold for $4. All of a sudden, you know, these guys just spiked in price, absolutely crazy. I don't know if this is like an artificial thing they're doing here. I don't think it really is. Let me see all the sales history here. No, I think he just got lucky at that $4. But the market price of this is increasing dramatically, and to get a playset of this, it's almost like $80. So that is kind of crazy, just for some speculation around the mask Greed On, which I don't know, maybe I'm kind of missing something. I don't think it's like too great overall, but Desire Devil Dofund also is increasing. We see market price $7.28, which is even high for this card, because back when it was, you know, not even being played, but just it was a lot cheaper. It was about half this over here, so you can get a playset for about $40. I don't know what the ratios are going to be used in the deck, but is pretty expensive and going on the up and up. Speaking of expensive, this card is absolutely insane. I would honestly just if a card gets this expensive, I think it might be time to just do like an emergency reprint and kind of like a box promo or something. I don't know, just some way of getting this kind of more copies onto the market, because I think a lot of people do want to play Youthberg. It's pretty cool. It's got that nice aesthetic. Everybody loves Knights. I feel like that's a very popular kind of trope within Vanguard and just the TCG community in general. This card is both good in premium and in overdress. So in the standard format, we see the market price $56. The cheapest one is about $80. So I don't know. I would never suggest buying anything at this price, but if you need to play it, that's what it is. Meteor Flare Dragon also with what is it? Not Gramphia. The oh god, I forgot the name, but the new Dragon Empire set coming out. This card is definitely used in there, and as a result, this is something that, again, was super cheap, $2, a couple dollars. It's now being sold, you know, $25 a copy, $23. I think there's a real price issue in general with overdress. It's just not kind of what the game should be in my eyes. I don't know. I don't see the appeal of really paying $80 for these things. It's like, come on, that's for just a generic, like that's not acceptable in my eyes. I don't know what's going on with the this set in general, the ratios there. I guess it wasn't really super open, surprisingly, but Falcate Performer too, I think people expected it to go up in price in general, but we see it kind of falling off. Market price of $19. It's gone down to $13. I think a lot of people are switching to the 4 Brainwash Swirler kind of build of Chronojet, and this really isn't in there anymore. I'm not 100%, but just in general, we thought this would be a lot more splashable than it is. I think it's going down just a little bit, so now might be a good time to pick maybe a copy or two up. I know obviously that the mask is coming out for oh god, I forgot the name of this deck overall, but for the grade 2 over here, it is kind of going up in price. Market price of $17. We can see it's kind of on an upward trend over here. Oh god, I don't know why I can't remember the name of it. It's really late today. If you guys remember the archetype, let me know down in the comments. But $20 for the cheapest one over here, and $15 has a $5 shipping if you can't see that, so it is very expensive overall. This is a super expensive kind of archetype right now. All the triple rares for it are very expensive, so maybe it is time to kind of hold off and not purchase it right there. Heat Haze Acrobat Miroslava, really like a weird card coming out of nowhere. I know that the grade 3 promo boss, like the grade 3 guy for Dark States, is, or the grade 3 centric one is getting some support, so maybe that's what this is kind of about over here, but not 100% sure. But we are seeing a dramatic rise in price for something that was a couple bucks is now what is the market price of $11. We see the cheapest copies are like $14, $14. Yeah, pretty solid over there. You can kind of pick up a playset for about 60 bucks. In my opinion, definitely not worth it. I don't know if this card's like a necessary in some builds over here, but just really not worth it in my opinion. Sealed Blaze Dragon Samahadi. So again, Raging Flames against Emerald Storm is just a crazy set. Things have like crazy value in it. If you could pick up packs of this or win packs in tournaments, like 100% pick this because this is crazy. So this double rare over here for a deck that isn't even really seeing results, Bafsagra, market price of $5.47. We see the cheapest copy is about $8. So picking up multiples of these, I know you do actually need it in the deck. I feel like this is one of the stronger cards in the deck, one of the better grade ones to kind of play. So that's honestly just kind of crazy to me. $7-8 for a double rare there's kind of insane. I know this is a high rarity version, but just wanted to kind of point out, I know the regular one's only a couple bucks, but Sylvan Hornbeast Serral, this is really good for the for A, searching in grade 4 Magnolia, and B, actually having the persona kind of go on the back of your units in the regular grade 3 Magnolia build. So the FR version of this, market price of $2. The least amount over here, the floor is $9.97, so almost a $10 card. If you have copies of these, I might list them. Maybe you can undercut those by a little bit and just sell them pretty quick if you are a motivated seller. Next up, Mazer Gear Dragon. So everybody knows during his history collection, like I feel like this is going to be an absolutely crazy deck. People are kind of talking about it in communities already, and with Mazer Gear unfortunately being included at a one of in the Stride deck set over here for Chronojet is kind of unfortunate. But $29, we saw that this was going for a bit more, that $40 kind of market price, down to $27, but it's hanging around that $30 price range, which I think it'll actually stick at. I don't see this going cheaper than that. I think it's going to be a very good deck in the format. I think that, you know, for both standard and in premium, you really need 4 of them. Standard, just 1 is fine, but overall, very, very tough card to get a hold of and very expensive. Next up here too, kind of got announced reprints on this card and another card we'll cover in just a second, but Hop and Seller Melty. So Melty is been pretty much a staple for any kind of lyrical deck for the past year and a half, 2 years, whenever since it's come out. So this did get a reprint announced, and I think we start to see that the market price is trailing off over here. It's $18. Even just a couple days ago, it was like $23. We see that copies are listing for $15. People are trying to get rid of them. You can pick up a playset for $60. I still would probably wait. I personally would wait. There's a lot of listings on here, a lot of copies within some of the listings, so I personally would wait. If you waited this long already not to purchase it, we can just wait a little bit longer. Cooling Heart Yuika, again, another announcement did get announced for a reprint on this, but at the same time, people are ready for Springfest, and this is a card that goes into Highlander, which still, you know, Solemn got third with it. I still think it's really, really solid overall. I don't think that the deck is diminished in power significantly. I think the searchability of Q-Tower can't be underestimated, or understated, but at the same time, like, what makes the deck good is still good. So if you can find the pieces, it's great, and you know, this is definitely a piece that's used in the deck, so I think that's why it's retained its $60 market price over here, and we see it really is selling for that much, like 5.30, 5.1. Like, people are desperate for this cardboard. I personally would never pay that, but you do you. Shifting gears over here to V, just wanted to talk about an interesting card that I thought would kind of go up in price, but really hasn't. Market price of $12.90 over here, and we see that the you can pick up a playset of regular Leopold, the original OG VR one, which is, you know, a little bit older at this point. This one has come out like 2018, I think. You know, you can pick up a playset for about $40, $44 almost. I don't know that you need a playset. I think you need like 3 for the reverse build, but overall I thought this would be a little bit more. I don't think Leopold has really seen the results that a lot of people expected maybe. I still think it is one of the better decks right now in the format, definitely in tier 1, but just an interesting thing that this did not go up, so maybe it's a good time to buy. One who surpassed the Storm, Thavas. So this is an interesting card because this is, I think, one of the better decks in premium right now. Probably the best deck with like the ride down gimmick in general. And I thought the price would spike on this, which it kind of has. Market price of $9 over here. Can't really get a playset for less than $20. So almost $80 for a playset. I'm sorry, $20 per copy almost. Kind of expected. I feel like we see that continuously. This is, you know, this was good in the previous format. It's even better in this format. It's one of the best decks to bring to Springfest, I think, if you can pilot it correctly. There are some interesting choices now kind of going around, and they have gotten their ride fixtures, so it's one of the decks that are kind of ahead of the the curve, so to speak, kind of like in the old V sets when we saw things, you know, like grade 3 searchers kind of come out one at a time for clans, or like, you know, 3 at a time, whatever's coming in that set. So definitely an expensive card. If you have copies of this, definitely list them now. If you don't want to play it, you will get top dollar for it. Fortune Mage Ildona. So I think this is getting reprinted in the history collection, but overall we're still seeing this become really, really popular. I know the market price is trailing a little bit, but not by much, and people are still kind of buying it for that, you know, $11-12 kind of price range, which it has been at for a while. But once these guys are done over here, I guess, you know, Gotham City over here, Battle City Gym, that's my locals, once they sell out of the $11 copies right there, it's just becomes way more expensive. So I might hold on this card. Sorry, Mike, if you're watching, but I would hold on that. Dragonheart Luard Phantom Dragon Aeon, coming out of Dragon Phantom Aeon. I thought this card would see again like another spike, but we see copies listed over here. Not too many overall. Once this $13 playset is gone, it becomes a lot more scarce. So I think that kind of just threw me for a loop right there. But yeah, this is actually a really expensive card, and it makes sense. I think this is one of the best decks in the meta right now. You can play this in both premium and in V. I think it's definitely one of the best decks in V at the moment. It's okay in premium, but you still, I think, go into this build overall. I would probably wait on this to see how the meta kind of shapes out, but if you haven't got them already, they are pretty expensive. And if you are kind of waiting to do that, maybe just pick up some of the support cards for now, because now is a great time to kind of pick up some more Fessas. They aren't quite as expensive as they once were. They were going around that, like, yeah, 6-7. I saw copies used to sell for like $10 almost, and we see copies are going for that $6 price, but you can pick up a couple for like $3 to $5 over here. For $20 for a playset of this card, this is getting a little bit older at this point. I feel like it's not a bad deal at all. And switching gears again, just getting into some more premium stuff. Revision of Sciences Deli Belly. I would say get this card now while you still can, while there's still decent availability. This is like an older card, I think. I don't know if there was like a reprint on it, but I think a lot of people are looking at Great Nature as like a viable kind of like rogue deck or alternate strategy. I think it's actually pretty solid overall, can draw a lot, kind of just wall up with the defense, and this card is definitely used in the upcoming build, I believe, so now would be a good time to purchase. And just want to kind of bring this card up, Harmonix Messiah. We saw the promo kind of came out. Kind of crazy overall that people actually, somebody bought it, at least one person bought it. This is going to be, I think, a box topper for the history collection, but obviously this got the errata. Every single clan and every single nation, like everybody's going to run this in premium out of one of. So I am surprised only just one person. I think the black border is pretty cool. They'll probably reprint it with the red, so it would be cool to kind of do that. But that is a Cray Elemental that will go into everything. Again, another value pick right here. Conquering Supreme Dragon, Stunverse Dragon. This is the SR version. I think that honestly this is the time to pick them up. I can see Stunverse coming back to an extent, maybe like one more. I don't know. I feel like they've completely killed decks because of the limitation to 1, and you know, kind of doomed if you do, doomed if you don't. But overall, this is not a card that's banned out necessarily. It's just at a 1 of right now, so at least pick up your 1 copy of the SR for $10. If you know you live through like peak Narakami, you know how outstanding this value is. You know, $50 was the market price for that, so kind of absolutely crazy. Next up here, talking about Narakami, again, my favorite clan. I feel like now's a good time to pick up these Hisens if you haven't already. Market price of $10, and we see it's kind of been trailing off. And I think for $5 for such an old card over here, to get that superior ride off is pretty worth it. I don't know if the build's been settled. I think there's like 2 or 3 different ways you can kind of take the deck, and I've experimented a little bit, but overall, I don't know which one I'd say is the best. There's a defensive build, there's this ride up build, there's kind of a, you know, still like the reverse. There's just a whole lot going on in Eradicators, and I think this is also kind of a just a testament to that kind of fact. Eradicator, Sharp Impact Dragon, the draw trigger, the into soul, the stand trigger, the into soul countercharge one. This is very expensive, $2.89 market price, but we see it's been rising. And the cheapest copies, and copies did sell at $7.99, $6, and within a fairly recent amount of time too. The cheapest ones over here, last save point, $8 for 4 of them per copy, $8, so that's $32 for a playset. So that's kind of insane, you know, for an old common. Definitely quite a bit of value there for the seller, at least. So that's pretty much all I have for this week. Let me know if I missed any big things that you want to cover. Let me know if you want like higher rarity or anything like that, if you want me to kind of continue this series, if you enjoy doing this with me, because you know, once in a while it's good to kind of kick back, just look at some things and bring you guys in with me. So yeah, this is Alex from Team Generations signing out.